All right, so this is my second Thursday thoughts. I kind of pooched the first one. I hit the mute button on the master control by accident. Didn't realize till 22 minutes after I hit the end button. What can you do except for do the video again? Practice. Now it's crystal clear. So anyways, my name is Carl with UV Design, and today it's Thursday. So we're going to give you our Thursday, me, mine, my Thursday thoughts. And today we're going to talk about WordPress. Is it the right website platform for your website? Dramatic pause. So anyways, WordPress. It's the most popular platform out there for website creation right now. I think I've read some stats and studies and deep analyzation that I believe it's 30 to 36% websites on the internet right now are WordPress, and then the rest of the 70 odd percent are all the other platforms, which would be Wix, Squarespace, you have Joomla, Drupal, Magento, React, Angular, just plain old HTML, and plenty of other types of websites out there, right? There's tons of them. Shopify, so with that one platform taking up, it's not a majority, but I guess it is the majority of all websites. Everyone believes that that's the right platform for them, right? And so today we're going to talk about the pros and cons, and to kind of think about, is WordPress the right WordPress site? Is WordPress the right website for your website? We're going to kind of speed this along because it is Thursday. And I don't know if you know what comes out today. A little movie called Infinity Wars. Gotta take the mini-me to go see it. But anyways, okay. Onward. WordPress is, if you're not familiar with it, it's a CMS website, content management system website. Basically, that means is there's a database that stores information that can be loaded into the website for whatever reason, right? E-commerce loads all your products, sizes, variables for those. So it can be a inventory management system. Users, if you want people to log into your website, right? They create their account. You give them extra content because they're logged in. Whatever. You just want them logged in, so they need to download something, interact with your website, forums, that's what a CMS website does. And WordPress is the most popular. The reason why it's probably the most popular is it's an open source platform. So that means people can write things, features for the functionality of the website to be better, right? So themes, plugins, these are added things to make your website look cooler, function better, style it amazing, so like sliders, video players, themes will give you different looks, different feels, that are kind of predetermined, and you just kind of put your information in there. So a lot of people will make money on those, right? There are specific companies that design themes, plugins. They charge you a monthly, yearly rate to keep updates for it. You pay that. WordPress itself, the house, WordPress, let's just say, is a house, is free. You pay for the appliances, the coat of paint, the style of house that you want. So that's a theme and a plugin, short version, right? And so with that, it has just boosted in the past 10 years. I don't even know when it really started taking off. I would definitely probably say about 5 or 6 years ago for sure. Maybe a little earlier, a little later, but 5 or 6 years, I'm pretty certain on that. It just exploded. So there's a lot of design companies that, they're just going to build your WordPress site. They don't even tell you they're going to build your WordPress site. They just build it and off it goes to you. So, or a lot of local business owners, small business owners will do a WordPress site because, it's popular. They can watch some YouTube videos, create it, and they feel great about doing it. So those are some of the pros. Some of the cons is kind of the same reasons it's a pro, right? It's open source. So the code is out there for everyone to see, right? and hackers will tend to kind of gravitate stuff to, they kind of already have a leg up into the system, right? Well, those plugins and themes that you purchase or use, they need to be updated regularly. And I have seen over the years, especially because I worked at GoDaddy, that a lot of small business owners don't even know they need to update their website, right? It's just like your phone. Your phone needs to update its apps all the time, kind of does it automatically. Sometimes you have to do it. Well, WordPress needs to be updated. I mean, you should be checking your site every day for an update. You just never know when one hits, but minimally once a week. Well, a lot of people who don't know that, because maybe they don't even know they had a WordPress website, the developer just gave it to them, here's your site, bada bing, bada boom, and stuff. Or, you know, you just don't know, which is perfectly fine because we don't know everything. Hackers will tend to go towards that because people just don't know, right? And so they tend to hack that code because it's just not known. And another reason is because it is the most popular platform, it's just a numbers game, right? Numbers are going to dictate that there are going to be more people that don't update their website than not. And so they're going to be able to have that code penetrate their website a lot more, right? It's just like PCs back in the day. Viruses were written for more PCs, not for Macs. So Mac owners never had to buy an antivirus. PC people, you know, had to buy. So it's just a strictly numbers game. Another con would be that it can be a bloated platform. And by bloated, I mean it's just a lot of code into the website when it's actually developed and pushed out. You know, usually have anywhere between 12 to 20 CSS style sheets loaded to make a front page, because each plugin, each theme has their own CSS style sheet. They have their own JavaScript scripts, so they're being loaded in from multiple folders onto one web page. And servers don't like doing that. They would rather go to one CSS script, even though it would be super long, and pull all the information out for one, than from 18, because they have to read different folders to pull that. You're really never going to notice that because it's all done very quickly, but, you know, milliseconds count, you know, seconds count in performance, visitor functionality, visitors just being happy on your website. So you try to gain as much speed as possible. And so sometimes WordPress can be a downfall, right, for that. But I have seen some really kick-ass WordPress websites that loaded pretty fast. You know, so for instance, well, not for instance, about a speed one. Well, it is about a speed one, not a good one. NASCAR's website is WordPress. Blew my mind when I found that out. I was doing some research for a client, wanted to see what the most popular, who the big boy of racing was. That'd be NASCAR. Went to their website. It is WordPress, and it does not meet speed metrics. But on the other hand, they're the most popular. Millions of people love NASCAR. They go to their website no matter what. So they don't have to really worry about user experience too much. They just kind of have to be there. So it's interesting just to see that NASCAR.com is a WordPress website. Other issues are if a plugin or a theme you purchase 1 year, what happens if that company goes bankrupt, right? Or they no longer develop that plugin or theme anymore? Because a lot of this stuff, these could be college students writing some code for a project, uploaded as a plugin, caught fire, but then that person, right, male or female, decides they don't want to do that anymore, so they stop coding it. Now you're left with a plugin that's no longer be updated or supported. And now you're kind of SOL. Now you have to talk to the developer, find an alternative yourself, and maybe you have to kind of redesign your website based on that stuff not being no longer supported. Okay, so those are some of the pros and cons. Now what we need to talk about is, how do I get there, right? How do I make the educated decision? Do I want a WordPress website, right? So I believe what every person, business owner who has a website or who's going to have a website needs to do is write down what is the purpose of their website going to be, right? Obviously, all websites provide some sort of information, right? That's the only reason a website exists, is to provide information. There's other things on top of it does, right? It sells a service, sells a product, brings together people in a community platform. Those are all features or additional benefits of a website. You don't go to a website just to stare at a white screen. There's some sort of information on there. If it's a painting, content, images, you know, gifts, whatever. So you have to decide what you want people to do with that information, right? Do you want them to order something online? Do you want them to fill out a contact form to email you? Do you want them to call you? You know, you need to find out or figure out what you want them to do, right? So let's take Joe the plumber, right? Joe the plumber in a small town pretty much will only need a front page. It talks about his service, where he's located, right? Here's the cities I service. Here's the type of services I provide for my community. You know, he's gonna have a phone number, might have a contact, you know, little information. You know, what else would he have? A map to show where he's located at. But for the most part, most plumbers, that's all they're gonna have, right? They don't need all the bells and whistles when it comes to a website, right? But I've seen a Joe the plumber's website be on WordPress for. Why? Why does he need to be on WordPress, right? He only needs 4 or 5 pages coded in minimal HTML, CSS code, and his site will load faster. You know, he doesn't have to worry about making updates and stuff because, you know, for the most part, he's not going to remember. He's got other things to worry about, you know, so it's going to be an overall better long-term solution for him than WordPress, in my opinion, right? I mean, locksmiths, restaurants, you know, I mean, restaurants, you can go both ways because you can make reservations, order online, all this other stuff. But if it's just like a small pizza shop saying, here's the sizes, here's the ingredients, you know, call us to order your pizza. They don't need WordPress, you know. So that's what people need to do. They need to kind of sit down and write a list of things they want their website to do. And if you're not 100% sure, you can only come up with 1 or 2. Take what you do as a business, Google it in a different city, different state, different country, right? Take a look at websites in the UK, in Australia, you know, wherever else, Germany, Canada. Just take a look at what people are doing with the same type of business you are in and see what other people are doing and seeing, all right, that's cool. I want to have that on my website, or maybe I want that on my website, right? Because it just depends the functionality of how to get there. You know, write things that you don't like. It's always good to have what you do and what you don't like, because at the end of the day, when you're either building the website yourself, you have to research, how do I get this function on my website? How do I make my website do this, do that? You need to know what you like and don't like and figure out, can I make it? Can I do it myself? Or when you talk to your web designer, right? Website designer, say, you know, I want my website for sure to do this, 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 and this. Maybe this, you know, and this are pretty cool. Possibly have it, but I sure as hell don't want this, this, and this. You know? And then let them help you make that decision of what type of website you need. You know, they're like, well, you have to have WordPress because these features, you know, to make a booking online, you know, they have to pull in what data you currently have booked, see what's available. You know, that functionality is easier met through a database-driven system. You know, so you're going to have to go there. You know, so, you know, that's going to have to be a WordPress site. But Joe the plumber, locksmith, you know, they're not going to need a lot of features and stuff, and they're going to, you know, can get away with HTML. So I would first ask your developer too, then what type of websites do they make? You know, and ask them, do you have the capabilities of doing a non-WordPress site? If you think that's the right decision for you. You know, if you're Joe the plumber or Sarah the locksmith and you want a WordPress website because that's what you want, that's perfectly fine too. I'm not saying that you do not do a WordPress site. I'm just saying, just sit back and think about it. Just be informed about what the end result will be, right? It could be fabulous. It could be a great way for you to do it, right? Some people are going to talk about SEO, right? That it's harder to rank SEO on an HTML website than it is WordPress. That's really not true if you know how to code the SEO into your HTML website like WordPress will, because you're going to use a plugin. That plugin just embeds code in certain ways. If you know how to do that, then you don't need a plugin to do that. So that's a little bit more technical and a little bit more like, you know, out thinking for reasons that you need WordPress and stuff like that. So, you know, you got to think about all these different variables on it, right? How do I get my website ranked? SEO, how's that going to be implemented into my website? through HTML. It is possible because technically WordPress delivers all your pages in HTML code anyways. WordPress just takes different PHP codes and pushes them out to the page in the HTML format. So, am I going to blog on my website, right? Am I going to consistently write content that talks about my industry and different keywords and all this other fun stuff? If I'm going to do that, you're pretty much going to need to do a WordPress website or some sort of CMS because it's just easier. You could technically blog on an HTML website, but it's kind of more pain in the ass, because you can make as many pages or posts as you want. It's just WordPress makes it way more easier, right? You can rinse and repeat the blog format, fill in the new content, push it right out there, and bada bing, bada boom, it's done in a couple hours, however long it takes you to write it. HTML, it's a little bit more tricky. Not really tricky, but just takes up more time, I guess, right? My own website for UV Design, it is WordPress. I have my information. I want people to call me, email me. We can talk about the services and your specific needs for marketing, SEO, website design. But then also I blog, do tips and trick tutorials, talking about how to create a WordPress site, how to get better SEO rankings. Put these videos on there, so it's easier for me to make a WordPress website. This website right here, maybe see it, maybe not. valspals.love. My aunt created this organization for caregivers for cancer. She only wanted a couple pages, an about page, a home page, an about page, and an events page. I made that in HTML in a weekend, right? Easy peasy, done. Don't have to worry about it. She doesn't have to worry about updating anything. Obviously, I would be updating it if there was, because she's my aunt. And this is built after my mom passed away for cancer. So, but neither of us have to really worry about it. So, you can make a really good site with this. It looks exactly kind of like a WordPress website would, just styled with HTML. So anyways, so next week we're going to talk about blogging and how it can benefit your business and is even necessary for your business. I think a lot of people believe they need to blog or have the word blog on their website, but not actually follow through with what it does and the benefits of it. So that's it for this Thursday. I'm off to Avengers. Don't spoil it. Actually, I'll probably see it before you do. So, all right, guys, till next time.